From the beginning of time, man has always had a pursuit of the best quality of life possible. That quality of life is not possible without resources. The form of resources we have accumulated has changed over time from cowrie shells, state-controlled money, precious metals, real estate, and stocks and bonds. Over the past 100 years, the world has been dominated by the US dollar and its reserves. But everything that has a beginning also has an end. A new financial revolution is upon us with the emergence of a digital economy. The way we earn, spend, and accumulate resources is fundamentally changing. A new asset has appeared that the wealthy have overlooked. Bitcoin has become the best performing asset of the past decade by far. With only 21 million ever in existence, there are more millionaires and billionaires in the world today than there are Bitcoin. Just by holding 0.25 Bitcoin today will put you in the top 1% asset holders in the world in the next 5 to 10 years. If you would have invested $100,000 in Bitcoin in 2013, today it will be worth more than $15 million. Bitcoin billionaire Raoul Pal says, Bitcoin's performance is so dominant and so all-encompassing that it is going to suck in every single asset narrative dry and spit it out. Never before in my career have I seen a trade so dominant that holding any other assets makes almost no sense. This is not an industry you can afford to ignore. If you want to remain in business, then you must adapt. Are you offering services in Bitcoin? Are you accepting payments with digital currencies? Have you adopted blockchain technology? Blockbuster Video at one point was the most dominant video service in the world. They had the opportunity to be part of Netflix, but they ignored the changing technology. Where is Blockbuster today? Where will you be tomorrow? All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Let me get this set up. This is a special, sort of unscheduled live that I'm doing, meaning I didn't wake up this morning with this live in mind. This came as a result of our Inner Circle crypto talk that I held this morning for our ILCA community and those that are members of the Inner Circle. And sometimes what I love about that is we see things and we see topics because crypto is an ever-changing industry, is always growing. And that's why I do the crypto talks in the first place, so that I can be up to date and in the know of what's going on currently in this space. And something popped up while we were doing the live that really caught my attention. And it also coincided with the series that I've been doing right now about the crypto storm is coming. In fact, right before this live, I was halfway through listening to one of my mentors in this space, Raoul Pal, billionaire crypto investor, and him talking about the same thing I've been talking about, and him giving a timeline, which is almost in line with my timeline about this whole crypto storm. Now, again, this series that I've been doing has been just for the founding members in my community, those people who have purchased the courses, because the courses gives the answers to the questions that I am posing inside of the crypto storm is coming, the things to look out for on how to not avoid the storm. There is no avoiding the storm, just as much as the people in Florida couldn't get out of the way of Hurricane Ian. It was coming. It is an immovable, unstoppable force. The only thing you can do is prepare as best as you can. That is what we are going to experience with this financial storm. Only we know it's coming. We just don't know when. We are already at the tail beginning of it right now. Every household in America and the world is experiencing some of it. But the big thing hasn't happened yet. And every single day I am seeing evidence that this storm is getting closer and closer and closer by the amount of sirens or red flags that I am seeing coming up around the world, around social media, from billionaires and millionaires and business owners, even the federal government themselves and the Federal Reserve. The biggest one just recently was last week. Jamie Dimon, who is the CEO of JP Morgan and Chase, says that a financial hurricane is coming, and he has been preparing JP Morgan to be ready for it. And he says he announced JP Morgan is prepared for this. Not only are they prepared for it, they have already laid the foundation for what the world will look like after it passes. All right, you guys understand that? They've already prepared for what the world will look like after it passes. So if you're paying close attention, they are putting their focus in heavily on one, eliminating their credit cards. That's one. And the second thing that they are doing is they are heavily investing in their own centralized blockchain technology, introducing their own CBDC, which is central bank digital currency, and getting the foundation prepared for all of their investors to have a presence in the metaverse. They're not just looking into it, they're attempting to write the book. Last Saturday morning on the Public Crypto Talk, we covered JP Morgan Chase, well, the first 10 pages of their 17-page report on the future of the metaverse and businesses and investments. This coming Saturday will be part 2, Saturday morning. So if you missed last Saturday's series, I have already uploaded it to YouTube. And then I'm going to finish it this coming Saturday morning. But in the series, I also talk about that there are things that's going to cause people to lose their crypto resources, their portfolio, whether some, most, if not all of it. These things are avoidable. These things, you can do things today to prevent you from losing all of your resources tomorrow. The problem is most people in crypto are not educated to even spot that what they're doing is a potential problem. That is not an issue today, but it will be an issue tomorrow. They're going to learn one way or another. They can learn about it ahead of time through ILCA and our crypto education, or they're going to learn when they lose their money. One way they're going to learn. You just have a choice right now in how you do that. And one thing that I see for people outside of the ILCA community, that when we talk about the need for crypto education, it seems nobody is saying that crypto education is not needed. Nobody's saying that. It's just the level of how should you get it? Because people seem to think I shouldn't have to pay for it. I'll just go to YouTube and Google. Why am I going to pay for crypto education? But at the same time, that same person will drop $50,000 on a project they don't fully understand. And then they're going to scream and cry when they lose all their money. So the only advice, because one, I'm not a licensed financial advisor to be giving any type of financial advice. But the advice that I do give is not a financial advice. The advice I give is that if you want to invest in crypto, the first place you should invest is in yourself with crypto education first. That's the first thing you should do. Already have it in your budget. If you're going to be putting money in the crypto space, you should put it in your education first. It's part of the cost of doing business. If you skip that step, you will lose most, if not all, of whatever you're putting into the crypto space. I want to make that point very clear, and that is why Ivy League Crypto Academy is here. Now, don't worry, because I do give a lot of stuff away for free, like this talk I'm doing right now. And hopefully what I'm going to show you right now will save some of you. But this is still part of the Crypto Storm is Coming series for our founding members only who have purchased our courses. But I'm going to give a little thing away for free today. I want to cover some proof because I don't just say something to say something. I back it up with facts and receipts. It's not just my opinion. And let me share screen. Whoa, where's the share screen button? You guys, yeah, you guys can see me. Oh, they changed it. It's called Present Screen. All right. I'm on StreamYard right now, and they be changing some stuff up. So they added something new. It's called Present. Okay. So here's an article that we found, and it wasn't even on my docket this morning. I was reading another article, and this one popped up. And I said, wait, let me look at this. And the title is Australian Investors Left with Nothing as Cryptocurrency Giant Celsius Goes Bankrupt. Now, Celsius fell victim to what happened to the whole Terra Luna collapse, and that collapse brought down a lot of other businesses with them. So it wasn't anything directly that Celsius did. There's nothing that Celsius or its CEO could have done. Well, I don't know the inner workings and the background relationships between them and Do Kwon and what have you, but it was to no fault of their own, is my point. And it went down. So let's take a look at this, because when something like this goes down, it has victims. Now, there's different types of victims. There are those that were educated and were part of this. They didn't lose everything. Then there are those who are uneducated and were part of this, and they lost everything. So I might just give you a warning. I might go in. I might get sidetracked. I might be telling stories. That's just how I operate. I don't read something to read it. I read to understand. So cryptocurrency lender Celsius Network was advertising yields of 17% right up to mid-June when it froze withdrawals and then filed for bankruptcy in New York 1 month later. All right, stop right there. Those in the ILCA community already see the red flags. Number one, we teach about the difference between custodial and non-custodial services. If you're using a custodial service, you don't have control and you are at the whim of them. So that is a risk. That is a big risk. You are not in control. Number two, advertising yields of 17%. Now, I find this interesting. They don't say guaranteeing yields of 17%. It just says advertising yields of 17%. So that leaves some wiggle room with the authorities. If they got sued, the authorities are looking at them. The authorities will say, Celsius was guaranteeing 17%. And the lawyers for Celsius say, no, we never guaranteed. We advertised that we can do yields of up to 17%. That's a little debate. That's neither here or there. But this is a red flag, because this is what people believe is going to happen. And then they froze withdrawals. Now, they froze withdrawals a month before they filed for bankruptcy. Whenever you are in a situation where the custodial is able to prevent you from having access to your funds, that's a major red flag. Not that it is wrong, that you should know you shouldn't put all your eggs in there. Only put in what you can afford to lose, because you are at risk of losing that due to no fault of your own. What's going on, Mr. Bale? Pool European champion out of the UK. And we need to talk, Oli, because you missed our 5-day challenge last week. And we are having a big one this month, but I want to do something special for you, Oli, in Europe. I want to do a special 5-day challenge on European time zone just for your group. So hit me up and we'll talk about that. I want to help you make $1 million. What? Let me say that again. Oli, I want to help you make $1 million. And I'm going to show you how to do that with your network. I'll even give you the number of people. 1,000 people. $1 million. All right. Told you guys I might go off on a side tangent. Okay, so cryptocurrency leader, they froze their withdrawals. Marketing itself much like a bank, but without the same regulations, it attracted a global customer base, including Australians, many of whom had their assets locked up as cryptocurrency prices collapsed and the company ran aground. All right, so companies rise and fall all the time. Companies come and they go bankrupt all the time. But what is striking for me, the tragedy for me, is not that the company went bankrupt. The tragedy for me is the victims inside the company. Because again, if they were educated, it would not be an issue. It's a loss of future income. So let's see what happened here. The plight of these retail investors was spotlighted in recent weeks by software engineer and frequent cryptocurrency critic Molly White, who began to tweet moving excerpts from hundreds of letters. We're not talking about a few here and there, one or two outliers. We're talking about hundreds of letters sent to the New York bankruptcy court and shared in court exhibits. The stereotype of people who are putting money into crypto. So this is what the perception is, that people in crypto who's putting money in, they are young, technologically savvy men. That's the stereotype. But that's not the reality. It says that did not seem to be the demographic in the letters. There were also a lot of people who were saying, this is my life savings, my pension. I worked 10, 20, 30 years to save this money. I worked 10, 20, 30 years to save this money. And then what did you do with that money? You put it all on black. You put it all in on Celsius. Why? That's an important question to ask. Why? What moved you to make a move like that? To take that kind of a risk? Well, one, lack of education. But two, it's called hope. Hope. People are sick and tired of being sick and tired. They're sick and tired of their current situation. They want something better. It's the lottery mentality. If I win the lottery, my life's going to change. If I put my life savings in this company, I'm going to get rich like so many other people I see in crypto. I'm hoping for this to win for me. But where would they get that idea from? See, follow what I'm saying here. Miss White also shared letters from people who said they were based in Australia, many of whom described their utter desperation and even thoughts of suicide after they were blocked from accessing funds. Let me tell you something that custodial services do. And one of the biggest groups that does this is Coinbase. Coinbase is very good for if the market has a dramatic turn and wants to go on the downside, starts to go in the bear season, especially if it's rapidly. Coinbase will freeze your ability to do any transactions. And they're going to use a number of excuses. One will be, we're going through a DDoS attack and we're updating our servers. Two, our servers got inundated with a bunch of people and everything got backed up. So we froze it so that we can clear it out, the transactions. Or three, they say they're being hacked or some kind of fraud going on. So they are freezing until they can get everything under control. But the point of what they're doing is they don't want you doing a run on the bank. And that's basically what people would do. If you see the market coming down, you sell high, you buy low. So this is the time to sell, not ride it all the way down. So Coinbase blocks your attempt to even sell. And then they open it back up when it's on the bottom. You don't want to sell on the bottom, you lose. So that is what Celsius did. They saw what was about to go down and froze people's ability to withdraw, and then declared bankruptcy a month later. One woman said the impact on her family had been severe. She included an email she sent to Celsius management begging to be allowed to withdraw some of her funds. The email included an ultrasound picture of her unborn child. This woman had no business investing, period. I'm not saying that she doesn't have a right to make decisions and moves to better her life. What I'm saying is I sympathize with that. But I don't have empathy for the risk that was taken because it was a choice. What I sympathize with is that she lacked education in the space. Maybe she didn't even know to get education. And that's why I do what I do, to spread the word out there. That's why the 5-day challenge, there's no cost for you to be able to be exposed to this industry and see the foundation, the basics, before you start putting money into the space. But she sent an ultrasound of her baby as if that's going to push Celsius to say, oh, we feel so bad for you. Here's your money. They don't care. This does nothing for them. You are nothing but a number on a spreadsheet. Others wrote of their emotional turmoil. Now, before I say this, let me say, when I say they don't care, the CEO of the company, the chairman, they can all say, oh, we are so sorry that people were hurt by this. But let me tell you something. Those CEOs still got millions in the bank. They're not riding high and dry while you are. They're not going to take their own money and give it to you. They made sure that regardless of the situation, they will be all right, them and their families. So they can go on TV and social media and talk about how sorry they are for the people who were hurt. And then they may even say, we were hurt as well as the biggest shareholders. You know, we lost a lot as well, but you didn't lose everything. And you still got millions and you're on a beach somewhere. Someone wrote, I have lost everything. How can I explain this to my son? I feel ashamed at myself. If you were crypto educated, you wouldn't be having those thoughts and you wouldn't be asking these questions. And instead, you were like, oh, well, that one didn't work. Let me look at my next project. And you would keep moving forward. Yeah, it sucks when something doesn't go your way. I've had 2 projects right now that, if they worked as planned, would have made me about $94,000. Neither of them worked as planned. I keep moving forward. It didn't break me. I shared this morning on Inner Circle Talk that as an entrepreneur, you have a plan A, B, C, D, E, and it just keeps going. The average millionaire has 6 to 7 forms of income coming in, diversified from many different places. That once we work on one project and you do everything that you're supposed to do, there's nothing else you can do. Then you now move on to your next. And you start getting that in place. And then you move on to your next and get that in place. And you work on the things, and you focus on the things that you have control over, is your day-to-day activities. And then One of these all of them is not going to work. In fact, most of them is not going to work. You only need 1, 2, maybe 3 of them that's going to work out of 10, 15, or 20. But you're going to have times where just nothing's working. Are you going to be writing letters, sending a picture of your unborn baby? Thoughts of suicide? I lost everything? No, that's not smart. You shouldn't have been in that position in the first place. That's where education comes in. Someone else said, that was our life savings. It was our chance of having a baby and funding medical expenses. It was our chance of taking care of our parents as they age. I have sympathy for all of this. I don't have empathy, though, because like I said, it was a choice that was made, an uneducated choice. And we all have a choice to get educated first. Because when I came into the crypto space, I started asking questions and I was alarmed. I was alarmed by the people that I was asking questions. And these are not people who are broke. These are people who have made millions in crypto. They couldn't answer my questions sufficiently for me. And I'm like, how are you investing in this? You don't know what's going on. And their only response was, well, Bitcoin keeps going up. I mean, this company is popping right now. You need to get involved. That's your answer? So I took it upon myself. There was no ILCA to teach me. I took it upon myself and spent 6 months doing research, Google and YouTube, wherever I can get my hands on. You know, one of the things I realized, though, doing it that way, besides all of the time I spent doing that, is that 50% of the information I was given was incorrect, and I didn't know which questions to start off with, and I didn't even know who to trust. Because a lot of these people on social media are saying things just to get your attention, and they're clickbaiting you or trying to sell you on something else, or they're hyping up a project for their own benefits. You know, so I'm like, I mean, are you telling me the truth or are you trying to lead me somewhere? And I'm not mad at that. You market for your business. I'm upfront. I am trying to sell something. I'm trying to sell crypto education delivered by me. So I give full disclosure. You know what my intentions are. So at that time, I didn't know. But I made the decision before I invested a dime. I'm going to learn about this thing. And we're not talking about that I invested 30,000, 50,000, 100,000 or more. After I learned, I invested $30. Yeah, that was my first investment in crypto, $30. But my education allowed me to flip that $30 into 6 figures in a couple of months. But I had a foundation to start with. And that education allowed me to keep the money when the market started to come down and my friends and peers who had made a lot of money lost everything. I knew what moves to make to protect myself. I even gave some suggestions to friends of mine. They didn't listen. They thought they knew better, and they lost everything. That was before I wrote my crypto courses. And they said, yeah, we do need crypto education out there. Let me make it a point to see if at least I can share my knowledge while I'm learning. So I sympathize with you, but I don't empathize with you. A father of 3 in Australia wrote, he had his life savings in a Celsius earn account. What the hell? And that he'd also convinced his father to deposit cryptocurrency assets into Celsius as a safe haven. As well as putting a personal face to the cryptocurrency crash, many of the letters cite the online presence of Celsius chief executive Alex Mashinsky as a key reason for investing. Okay, now here where it gets interesting. This is another reason I shared on Saturday night. The crypto storm is coming, what things to look out for. And one of the things that I posted there, or I teach, is watching out for the most dangerous person in crypto. One thing that you'll learn about me is I am not a hype guy. I don't hype up a project to get you all excited to make money in. I share the facts. I will share when I get excited about something, but I always come from a conservative point of view. No matter what somebody tells me, I operate as what if you fail by 90%? If I can get excited over the 10%, that's where you see me excited. I'm never excited based on what they say. So I used this earlier as an example. Like this guy, he's the CEO, Alex Mashinsky. What did he do to contribute to this? Well, here. They bring up his regular YouTube AMA or Ask Me Anything sessions in which he projected supreme confidence until the end and a willingness to call out what he saw as misinformation about his company on Twitter. So when the red flags were flying and people started asking him questions, he was doubling down saying, all is good. There's no problems in paradise. That's all misinformation. That's fake news. Don't listen to what they say about us. Listen to me. Problem right there. Because for the person that is not educated, they will listen to somebody like Alex Mashinsky. They will take his word for it. Ms. White was also struck by how many letters specifically cited Mr. Mashinsky and his online persona. Those AMA sessions clearly worked really well to build trust in him and in the platform. So people were swayed by the oil slick salesman and his great words and his confidence about how everything is okay. I'm going to use a real life example of this. Nugent. Uh-oh. Am I going to strike some nerves here? Well, I'm not going to say anything I didn't already say publicly previously, before Nugent even launched. I said I had a major red flag. The only major red flag that I had, because everything about that whole project to me is a genius, the way it's set up and the way it's to deliver. So on paper, if everything works out perfectly, there you got it. But that's on paper. The test comes when you do real world activity to it, real world testing, to see if this theory is real. So you press the button and you launch. But before I press that button, the red flag that I had, and I said this publicly, and people didn't like it at the time when I said it, was I was on it was really the first Nugent call that I was actually on. Because of our schedule, I was never able to make it to any other live presentations. And I was listening to the CEO, Fazil, and Fazil was sharing, like Mashinsky, his great excitement and confidence of not only the project, but what the token itself could be worth. And he said a couple of things. First, he said, we knew what the price was at that point because we were buying it from, I think it was still at 33 cents. This is before it went up to the 70 and the 88 cents. It was at 33 cents. And he said, yeah, I see this when we launched this going to $1.50, $2, very quickly $25, and then long-term $100. And I was, no, don't say that. Is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? No. And most people that were listening have no crypto education, so they're taking his word for that. So I went on live and I told our ILCA community that one of the greatest skills you can learn is how to read the charts. So when I see a project that comes out that is launching a token or coin, I can tell what the possibility of how high can this coin get under the best of circumstances. What's the pros and what's the cons? And when he said $100, and then everybody in the new gen community started repeating that $25, $100, and it not getting shut down by the moderators or the people behind and that's in charge of the community, I knew that was going to be a big issue, and I shared it. I even shared screen and showed you the new gen Telegram group and said these people need education. Now, some of you started to say that in that Telegram group. Y'all need education. And the people agreed. You're right. Where can I go to get educated? And some of our members said, I'm glad you asked. We've got a free 5-day challenge coming up. We've got crypto education. Other members of that community shot that down real quick because in their mind, oh, this guy Brandon's coming in here trying to make money off of y'all. It's a scam. You shouldn't have to pay for any crypto education. Just go to YouTube and get it for free. Well, we saw how that was going to work, right? But let me tell you just briefly what I did back then. I said, and I'm going to ask you guys this question because I'm now asking the public. If you've got 10 billion tokens and every token is going to be worth $100 a coin, well, I said it's impossible. What number do you think this market cap would need to be for the Nugent coin to be worth $100 a coin? Type it in the chat box. Those of you in Facebook groups, we are streaming on Facebook. We're streaming on YouTube and Twitter. What would that number need to be for Nugent to be worth $100 a coin? Would I love for it to be get $100 a coin? Yeah, I'll give you a full disclosure again. I have about 540,000 of those tokens. If it goes to $100 a coin, that's a $54 million asset value that I currently have right now. What if it went to $25 a coin? That's 13.5 million. Would I be cool with that? Hell yeah. Would I love for it to go to $25 a coin? Yes. What if the best case scenario I said was about $1.50 to $2? So let's go the $2 route times $2. That's still $1 million. But what did I always state as well? I operate off of 90%. If you fail by 90%. So I was looking at worst case scenario between 20 to 40 cents. So let's go 20 cents. That's still $108,000. So even at 20 cents, I'm in huge profit. Okay? That's my excitement. Even if they fail. What is the price of Nugent right now? Let me look at this. Right now it's at 13.5 cents. So let's go with that. That's $72,900. I am still in huge profit because I personally spent, I don't know, I think in the $5,000-$6,000 range, somewhere around there. So I'm still in huge profit. at today's price. And I know this is not the price it's going to be at the end of the day, meaning when the bulls turn around. But I'm educated in this. The community was not. And they're listening to the CEO talk about $25 a coin, which in turn will influence people to put in more money than they should. Oh, I didn't answer the question. What does this number need to be for Nugent to get to $100 a coin? This number would need to be at $20 trillion. At least. The entire market cap of crypto would need to be at 20 trillion. And if that happens, what do you think? If Bitcoin dominance right now always hovers around 40%, 45%, that means the Bitcoin market cap would be between 7 and 10 trillion by itself. The entire crypto market cap has only gotten to about 3.3, 3.4 trillion for all 13,189 tokens. Nugent will have to be $1 trillion market cap by itself for that to happen. Again, is it possible? Yes. Because I believe that this market cap one day will be at 20 trillion. In fact, that is the conservative number that my crypto mentor, Raoul Pal, gives. Whether in the next 10 to 15 years, he's looking at the crypto market cap. He's talking about it being far higher than the $20 trillion cap. I'm going, if he fails his number by 10% or 20%, that we're looking at a $20 trillion market cap. So Bitcoin has a big chunk of that. Ethereum has a big chunk of that. All the other altcoins that survive the crypto storm will have a smaller chunk of that. But everybody says, oh, I'm going to put in more money because the CEO said it's going to be worth $25 a coin. Do you see how that can happen? And he was dead confident about that. Right? You go back and listen to all the recordings. He's dead confident. I said, $2, $25 a coin. The only problem was bad timing. Let's say that had launched 1 year ago, before Bitcoin reached 69,000. Let's say Bitcoin was still at 20, 25,000. And then Nugent launched. And then Bitcoin ran all the way up to 69,000. Yeah, I see Nugent getting to $2, $3, $4 a coin real quick. But you launched in a bear market where all coins and tokens are down. So it's not like they didn't do anything wrong. And do you know who the biggest liability to the community was? It's not the outside world. The biggest liability to the community, to the project, was its own community. Thousands of uneducated people who putting their life savings and stuff into the project because they're trying to get rich quick or trying to make some quick money to pay their bills next month. So as soon as it launches, they're trying to sell to make some money. That's not an investor right there. That's a gambler. There's a difference. This is not Vegas. Be calculated. I've been listening to a series by Kevin O'Leary. He's been very vocal lately about his crypto portfolios, and he describes exactly how his methodology is. He's not a gambler. He does his research to the point where he will fly in or fly to the owners and creators of projects, look at them thoroughly before he puts any money in on them. He does his homework. He doesn't throw anything based on hope or chance or just because a CEO says that his project is great. Every CEO says their project is great. Your education will let you know, is it great for you and the timing of it for you. So while everybody's looking at a project like Nugent, like I'm trying to make money next month, I'm looking at least the next 18 months. At least. So those AMA sessions clearly worked really well to build trust in him and in the platform. And the people basically believed that Alex Mashinsky as a person would not do this to them. Well, first of all, he didn't do anything to you. He did not cause the crash. I do not believe he even had any intent to do anything foul. He wanted his company and everything to succeed because I can see it, the look in his eyes. He was in a position to be one of the world's richest men. And sometimes businesses, things don't work. That's why outside of crypto, 90% of new businesses don't survive their first year in business. Why do you think all of a sudden 100% of all crypto opportunities are gonna survive? It's even a worse statistic for them. I'm a brand new business, and we're just now hitting our 10th month. So people were believing him and what he says. Now, even though I don't believe he had any intent to screw anybody, I don't believe he had any intent to steal anybody's money. The real test comes when the financial burden on you becomes so thick, you've got to make some moves. And the first thing that individual will do is thinking of themselves first. So while Celsius filed for bankruptcy, Alex ain't bankrupt. Alex still has access to a fortune. He's okay. But all the people that were on the platform that decided to put their entire life savings and stuff into it, Alex didn't force you or anybody to do that. But he did lead you into doing that. And that is where he can get in trouble with the authorities. If they can go back through all of his posts, all of his broadcasts, and see where he led people, I didn't say mislead, but led people based on his word to invest money they couldn't afford to lose, he can be in trouble for that. Not only him, any investors or influencers out there that will have been making videos saying the same thing. Oh, you got to get on Celsius. It's only you're going to get 17%. They're going to be in trouble as well. He's going to be in hot water. We're at the bottom and we're trying to be loud. Claire is one of the Australians with assets locked up in Celsius who wrote to the judge. She returned to Australia in 2020 after more than a decade living in the United States and was after a career change. A university course in financial technology introduced her to cryptocurrencies, and she took a shine to the industry. But Claire said she struggled to find a job in the field, and when trying to start her own business, found that Australian banks wouldn't lend to her due to a lack of local credit history. A U.S. cousin introduced her to Bitcoin mining, and she ended up locking away around $50,000 worth of Bitcoin as collateral for a loan from Celsius. How many of you think that she or her cousin was crypto educated? Yet she dropped $50,000 and might be the same type of person that I'm not paying for crypto education. That's too expensive. But dropped $50,000 worth of Bitcoin as collateral for a loan from Celsius. I was very attracted to their loan facility because I couldn't get a loan here for anything, she said. Cryptocurrency for a person who is in that situation, it is more attractive. While she is not in as a dire of a situation as some other Celsius customers, Claire said the goal of writing her letter was to ensure the voices of smaller investors were heard as the company's debts are considered. It's still unclear how the process will play out. Celsius's terms and conditions warn that an account with the company is not a checking or savings account and is not covered by insurance against losses, and that any eligible digital assets may not be recoverable after bankruptcy. So they already had it there in writing. How many other people actually read the terms and conditions? The big boys will get the lawyers and they will be loud, she said. We're at the bottom and we're trying to be loud. Risk not over for Australian investors. Celsius had approximately 300,000 active users with balances of more than $144 on average as of July 2022, and a $1.2 billion shortfall when it filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the Southern District of New York. The company offered a number of services, including the ability to borrow against cryptocurrency assets transferred to the company or to earn high reward rates on those deposits. There's another one just like that called Nexo, and Nexo seems to be in the eyeballs of U.S. regulators. But while its team presented a glossy picture of huge yields, it seemed impossible to some critics that such numbers could be sustained without making potentially hazardous investment choices with the funds of its international depositors. Campbell Harvey, a professor of finance at Duke University, said the Celsius situation was ultimately simple. This is a company that basically took customer deposits, if you want to call them that, and they invested in very risky products like Do Kwon. Among other issues, Dr. Harvey said, Celsius appears to have invested in cryptocurrency products that were highly illiquid when the company needed money bad quickly. Somebody asked in one of our crypto talks or 5-day challenge, I don't remember which one, what exactly are the importance of liquidity, especially when we were talking about Nugent. I think it was Martha asked that question. Why is that important? Because look at this. As an investor, when I pull up Nugent, for example, on the blockchain is showing me 382 address holders and no liquidity and no price. So if I was an outside investor, not inside of the community, I will look at this and say, okay, they haven't launched yet or they're not ready. I'm not ready to take that risk yet. I need to know how much money they have, because if I drop a lot of money in and then the people who are in the project sell to eat my money up, when I'm ready to sell, is there any liquidity there to buy back what I'm about to sell? And if the answer is no, they're not going to do it, because they're like, I'm not just going to give y'all money so that you can cash out. What's your liquidity looking like? Do you have enough money to support if I wanted to sell? So here, they basically invested in other projects that went under, and now those investments were gone. Let's see this. Among other issues, Dr. Harvey said, Celsius appears to have invested in cryptocurrency products that were highly illiquid when the company needed money bad quickly. Anytime you're promised an 18% return that is sold as risk-free, that is just a red flag. So there you go again. Did Celsius promise an 18% return? Because the critics afterwards will say they did. But did they actually promise that? Or did they say, we can do up to 18% yield, sometimes lower, sometimes higher? But the fact you say that, people will assume you're guaranteeing or you're promising that. So either way, it's a red flag. That's why the moment Faisal said $1.50, $2, $50, $100, $25, I was like, no. What could he have said? Here's what I would have said. The value of this token is going to be based on the market. In the pre-sale, this is what we price the value at. Right now it's at 33 cents. So when it hits the market, it'll start off at 33 cents, but I can't guarantee or tell you how high this can go. All I can do is let you know what we're going to do to help the value of this token rise in value over time. And those of you who do get started now are in the best position to reap the benefits of that work. I would have said something more along those lines rather than numbers. And if people keep pressing, well, yeah, can you tell me how much it would be worth? I said, well, why don't you go on to the history of crypto coins and see other projects of similar value or number? What were they ultimately worth? And that's what we could possibly be as well. And then we're excited for when the rocket ship takes off. Then we can dream mode on where this could be in the future based on the rise of Bitcoin. Because when Bitcoin rises, all tokens rise with it, regardless of their project. They all rise with it. Bitcoin goes down, everybody goes down, regardless of how good your project is. That's how I would have answered those questions. But would I have also still been able to raise as much money as they did if I left that stuff out? Because we know what motivates and moves people. Hype, get rich, telling them it's going to be $25 a coin. Now you got people willing to spend more money than they normally wouldn't have because they don't want FOMO, fear of missing out. That happened to me. I lost $7,000 because I had FOMO. I was afraid of missing out, and I couldn't wait the freaking 10 minutes to get home in front of my computer and realize that it was a scam. I was on a walk when that happened, and I didn't want to miss out. So I stopped, tried to do the transaction right then and there, lost $7,000. Celsius's bankruptcy filing continues. A rough period for cryptocurrencies and other high-profile platforms, including Babel Finance, Vald, and Voyager, have run into trouble in recent weeks. Celsius's own bankruptcy documents admit it made what, in hindsight, proved to be certain poor asset deployment decisions. And that happens. Mr. Mashinsky's declaration also cites the high-profile implosion of cryptocurrency Luna and its Terra USD stablecoin as accelerating the onset of a crypto winter and prompting an uptick in customers trying to get their money out, akin to, didn't I say this earlier? A bank run. A bank run. Again, for those of you who don't know, I don't read these articles beforehand. So if you hear me say something that's similar, it's crypto education. A bank run. The Celsius situation also makes the risk clear for Australian cryptocurrency investors, overseas companies that are subject to overseas rules. Aaron Lane, a lawyer and senior research fellow in the RMIT Blockchain Innovation Hub, said how much local investors ultimately recovered from Celsius was now in the hands of U.S. courts, where cryptocurrency bankruptcies were a relatively new phenomenon. Yeah, they're like, how do we handle this? There's something that consumers need to consider at the front end. Doing your research and really considering who controls the cryptocurrency that you're putting in. Bitcoin 101. Both Dr. Lane and Dr. Harvey suggested Celsius' situation, as well as the litany of other cryptocurrency collapses, was likely to spur government regulation of the industry. This may include whether cryptocurrency lenders like Celsius will be forced in future to abide by rules set for more traditional financial institutions, such as capital requirements to protect depositors. How can consumers know that if they're putting money into one of these platforms, that they can get it back, or at least get a proportion of it back? Dr. Lane said. Ms. White says there's a pattern in how cryptocurrency projects are allowed to operate that can't continue. Crypto projects do whatever they want, advertise however they want, run their businesses with basically no transparency and no requirements for how they're handling their assets. And then regulators just wait for them to explode, she said. We can't afford to have done it as long as we have. People are continuing to get hurt. But what can they do about it? Education. What is this? Steve Bannon and an exile billionaire promoted this cryptocurrency, but experts say it has hallmarks of a scam. Surging interest rates have led to Paul and other tech workers losing their jobs. Bitcoin value plunges below 2,000 for all right. This one kind of does interest me, though. Steve Bannon and an exile billionaire. I'm going to have to read that one later. All right. So what is the moral of the story as this goes into the Crypto Storm is Coming series? The moral of the story is get educated first. Put it in your budget, the cost of education. Don't skip this. Don't think that you can bypass and skip the fundamentals, because you're putting yourself in a situation where you're going to lose most, if not all, of your resources because of what, for me, are little mistakes. And when I say little mistakes, it's because it's the little things that we cover in our basics in the 5-day challenge and the Bitcoin 101 series. The little things, to me, that is I mean, it's the most expensive lesson you will learn, but to other people, they're big things. When you lose $100,000 and you hear me say it was a little thing, you would beg to differ. To you, it's a big thing. But if you had focused on the fundamentals, it was a little thing. Little thing knowing about security, little thing knowing about when to pull your profits, where to put them, how to move things around, having multiple wallets, making sure you're double checking your transactions on certain wallets, making sure that wallets that have whitelisted don't change the address without you realizing that, how to double check that, making sure you don't have all of your money going to a wallet that you have attached to your bank account, but a secondary wallet first, making sure how much money you decide to pull out at any given. I mean, there's a litany of little things that if you just mess up big on one of those could cost you everything. Crypto education is key. It is everything. So that's all I wanted to share today publicly, because we found this morning. How do you further your crypto education? Well, let's start you off on the slow path. And let's invite you to the next 5-day challenge. The next, oh yeah, here's what I said, because I got a lot of members that are promoters of ILCA. Get back to whoever is showing you this video and ask them how you can get and be a part of the 5-day challenge. They will send you their link to register. There's no cost. No cost of registering. It is free, so that you can get be in the know. And that's going to be on October 24th. October 24th of this month. For 5 days, just 1 hour. Register for that. The next thing after you register, that's the first thing you need to do. It's free. Well, you're not going to lose nothing. Even if you say, well, I kind of want to stick my feet in the water and see if it's warm or not. Register for free. There's nothing to lose. You want to be a part of our inner circle where we found this article this morning. See, this is the type of stuff I share just for our inner community. Then you want to go to ilcasecrets.com. And when you register, use the same email address you use when you signed up for the 5-day challenge. That way, you're still tied to the person who referred you to our community. Just use the same email address. For the person that says, well, Brandon, I would love to have the courses so that I can be a founding member and I won't miss your next series about The Storm is Coming, which will be at the end of this month. In fact, the date for that, The Storm is Coming, like last Saturday. The date for that is October 29th. That's the date. That's the next one. So if you're a founding member, get the courses. They still have a discount going on right now. And you want to go to ilcafounders.com/back-to-school. Use the same email address. In our ecosystem, you got to use the same email address. So use the same email address so you can be a part of that. ilcafounders.com/back-to-school. And we have a payment plan for that. And then finally, marketing. We have the best marketing, training, and ecosystem out on the market today. And you don't have to pay thousands of dollars to get it from like a ClickFunnels event or anything like that. You can get it in our community, and the cost is just $199. In fact, we have a new series coming up, and this is why you want to be on the marketing. I kept telling you guys, if you haven't done so, you want to have the marketing ASAP, because starting on this Thursday, let me let my system load up. And this is even regardless of if you're using other marketing softwares, you still can. You can still be a part of our marketing community and not use the software. If you want access to the training is even more valuable than the software itself. But here's our 4-part series for the rest of this month that if you get the marketing system, you can be a part of. The first one is this Thursday at October 6th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We're going to cover setting up your Facebook Business Manager, page setup, and ad account creation. All right. This is for Facebook ads and traffic team. Thursday, October 6th. On Monday, October 10th, they're going to be covering building out a separate Facebook page for driving organic free traffic. That's going to be on Monday. On Thursday, October 20th, building out your ads audience. Building out your ads audience. I wonder why something must be happening on the 17th, that Monday, that they're skipping that Monday. But anyways, the next one will be on Thursday, October 20th, building out your ads audience. And then Monday, October 24th, finalizing your ad setup, and you're able to go live. 4-part series. Do you know how much this would cost regularly? This is thousands of dollars of training to get this. $199. $199. And if you don't like it, cancel it at the end of the month. If you felt it wasn't valuable for you, then cancel it. But you're getting a lot for $199. And in fact, you're going to see, we're going to be sharing what 2023 is going to look like. The value that you're getting for the marketing system at $199. ILCAmarketing.com is where you want to go. Everything you see here, the only all-in-one CRM system that's simple to use. Check this out. But we're going to be adding even more value to the 99 and the 199. And details of that will be coming later. So you want to, the only hint I can give you guys is right now, start to put in your budget to have the premium 199 ILCA marketing system. There's a whole lot more that's going to be added for this for you guys. So, and anyone that's in Atlanta, we'll share that info with you guys privately. And I'm even thinking about, because we got the Marketer Summit coming up in Atlanta. For those of you that are there, I'm probably going to do some special stuff. We'll have some special private meetings for those who are there, and we're really going to, sit down, have a powwow, late night talks with each other. Ask me anything. What about that? I think about that. What if I have an AMA live session there? Ask me anything. Let's talk about strategies. Let's talk about portfolios. Let's talk about long-term and short-term, and give you guys a skinny on what's going to be coming up and what my focus is for 2023. What if I tell you guys my personal things on my failures? How did I lose 7 figures in crypto? How did I make 7 figures in crypto? Private conversations. So we'll do that in Atlanta. I'll come up with something with that. So, and then October 24th is our next 5-day challenge that I'm starting to promote that right now. So you guys want to make sure that you want to invite as many people as possible. And I am looking for influencers. So if any of you guys know of any influencers that you'd want me to have a private conversation with, let me know. If you know of any influencers, and I'll have a private conversation with them so how they can monetize their community on a free 5-day crypto Bitcoin bootcamp for October 24th. So we're on the move, ladies and gentlemen. That is it. Was I sharing screen? Ah, I wasn't even sharing screen. That's all right. All I showed you was ilcamarketing.com and the Marketer Summit. I thought I was sharing screen. Yeah, I like that. The fireside chat, somebody said. Facebook user said that. But yeah, if you, let me put it this way, it is going to be worth your time and money to have a budget of $199 a month for your crypto stuff going into 2023 and beyond. Start planning for that now. All right, everybody, that is it. I will be back. Oh, that's Provis that said that. Yeah, fireside chats. I will be back tonight. If you are a founding member, we are doing advanced crypto training. We're on those lessons, and the very first lesson is private keys. So that's the security. And this is why I said the crypto storm talks I do on Saturday nights. You got to be a founding member for it, because the lessons that we have in our lessons cover the things you need to do to protect yourself. So tonight's lesson is a major thing to protect yourself and your assets. Private keys we're talking about tonight. So thank you, everybody, for listening this long, and I will see you tonight. And then also, there is a new project coming up, tokenizing real estate. So there's a presentation on that tonight, and it is not network marketing. It is not MLM. That is tonight, right after my founding members class at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific tonight. So with that, thank you guys for being here. I will upload this specific video to YouTube, and you guys can use to share however you want. Bitcoin Brandon out. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.